Let me tell you about a contractor named Mike. Mike built houses for 12 years. Good guy, good crews, never had a major disaster. But Mike had a problem. Every few months he'd finish a job and lose money. Not a lot. Maybe $1,000, $1,500, just enough to be annoying. He blamed the weather. He blamed subs showing up late. He blamed the architect for confusing drawings. But here's what Mike never did. He never checked his material takeoff. And that mistake cost him over $15,000 across 3 years. Let me show you exactly how. Most new contractors think the big risks are steel prices or labor strikes. But the silent killer is way more boring: quantity errors. Here's what happens. You read the plans. You calculate how much material you need. You plug that number into your estimate. You win the bid. You start work. But if your quantity is wrong, just 20% off, you don't just pay more for material. You also pay labor to install that extra 20%. You pay equipment time. You pay overhead on a longer schedule. One wrong number multiplies into 3 different cost overruns, and the owner doesn't pay you a cent extra. Because you signed a contract. Let me make this real. Say you're installing wall insulation. Your estimate says 18,800 square feet, but the actual job needs 22,600 square feet. That's a 20% error. Small, right? Most people would miss it. Now watch what happens. Material unit cost, 30 cents per square foot. Estimated material total, $5,640. Actual material total, $6,780. You just lost $1,140 on material alone. But wait. Labor unit cost, 19 cents per square foot. Estimated labor total, $3,572. Actual labor total, $3,616. That's another $44. And equipment? Another $380. Total loss from 120% math error, $1,564. That's not a bad day. That's your profit for the whole month on a small job. I've seen this happen with concrete. A guy misreads the foundation plan. He's off by 4 cubic yards. He thinks, no big deal. But concrete is heavy. Delivery costs more. Pump rental goes longer. His crew stands around waiting for the last truck. Then they have to finish extra square footage at the end of the day, over time. That one tiny takeoff error cost him almost $3 grand. And he didn't even install fancy tile or marble, just plain gray concrete. The cheap materials are the most dangerous, because you don't question them. You assume it's just insulation or it's just drywall. But small errors times large quantities equals real money. Here's what most contractors do wrong. Mistake number 1. They trust the plans without question. Plans have errors. A lot of errors. Especially on older projects or rush designs. If you don't verify dimensions yourself, you're guessing. Mistake number 2. They don't track actual usage. They buy material. They install it. They never go back to compare estimate versus actual. So the same error repeats on every job. Mistake number 3. They blame labor instead of math. Super slow crew? Maybe. But usually your productivity rate is fine. Your quantity is just wrong. Check the takeoff before you fire anybody. So how do you stop bleeding money? Step 1. Do a physical site measure. Don't just read the plans. Walk the space. Verify dimensions with a laser or tape. Step 2. Build a simple tracking sheet. On every job, write down estimated quantity versus actual quantity. If you see a 10% or higher variance, stop and find out why. Step 3. Red flag cheap materials. Insulation, drywall, concrete, gravel. These are where quantity errors hide. Spend extra time on those takeoffs. Step 4. Use a second set of eyes. Even a junior estimator or a field engineer can catch a fat finger mistake. 2 people check equals half the errors. Here's the bottom line. You will never win the game by working harder. You win by eliminating the leaks. And the biggest leak isn't lazy subs or bad weather. It's the one wrong number you never bothered to double check. The next time you lose money on a job, don't ask, who worked slow? Ask, what did I miscount? Because in construction, the difference between profit and loss isn't skill. It's attention to the boring stuff. The stuff nobody wants to measure twice. So, measure twice. Or watch your profit disappear 1 square foot at a time. If you want to catch these hidden profit killers before they hit your bottom line, follow for more. And next time you pick up a scale, check it twice. Seriously.